My name is Suncere Shakur. I'm an activist from out of Washington, D.C. Come up to Rockaway, New York to assist Sandy in the relief effort here in the Rockaways. And I work out of the Cornega Avenue office. We are operating a distro, and we also have an outreach. Component where the comrades are going out and canvassing the neighborhood, assessing people's needs from, what condition their houses are in, how they're actually living, if they're hungry, if they're cold, if they're living in mold. Also, medical needs are very important because, it's an epidemic out here. I mean, people are living in moldy homes, cold, moldy homes. And when I got here 3 weeks ago, a lot of people had this thing called the Rockaway cough, where their lungs were infected. And just last week, I was being told that on any given time and on any given corner, people were throwing up. Wow. So it's a real serious health situation here. Steps is being that's taking place already with Occupy Sandy. They're doing an excellent job. I mean, almost like by the book. Not leading people, but actually finding leaders that they can work with to go out into the community and rebuild people's lives overall. I think it's not only just race, but we also have to talk about class. Racism is a tentacle of class. Like in the area that we're in now, I mean, just a few blocks up the street, at an affluent, white community, they have warming tents and food and generators and police presence to protect people. And, you go to the Rockaways, it's definitely different. The mayor, Bloomberg don't want trailers in there. He doesn't, he's blocking warming tents, from the Red Cross to go in there. And I think the overall thing that people have to be hip to, that they're using this storm exactly the way they used the storm in New Orleans after Katrina as a way to push their agenda of gentrification on people. A lot of poor people live basically on beachfront property in the Rockaways, And it's a shame, that the landlords are in on it, the bankers are in on it. I mean, I'm willing to bet as soon as these bankers found out, that the hurricane was coming through, I'm sure they had a meeting on how they was going to divvy up the community and what was going to go where, If the plans was probably already in place, but the hurricane helped speed it up, which I call like gentrification on steroids, But, if we can get enough good people organized, just not the people that's on the ground, we need more people. People like yourself to get involved, because the activist circle is so small from coast to coast. And you got good people being burnt out, all the time, And as you don't have to be an anarchist, you don't have to be a communist, you don't have to be a Republican, you don't have to be a Democrat. Just be a responsible human being. That's all it really takes, yeah.
Have you seen anything positive coming from the police department towards the relief efforts?
I haven't seen either or. But in comparison to Katrina, they're like angels. They're angels. Comparison to New Orleans, they're angels. I haven't heard or seen any type of thing that the police have done outside of locking up maybe like 2-3 days ago the original members of the Last Poet for shooting a video. They're locked up.
Heard about that.
Yeah, and I really wanted to get out and support you guys, but I'm really busy trying to help the community get back in. But my heart goes out to every single one of you guys, man, because you guys really are the originators of hip hop, and positive hip hop, the way it's supposed to be done. You know what I'm saying? Like painting pictures for people, to make their lives better.
You were involved with the Common Ground collective, I understand, after Katrina down in New Orleans. You want to say anything about any common grounds?
The comparisons that I see. One is there's a sense of urgency here, but the sense of urgency in New Orleans was at a much higher level. because you had killer cops, you had killer National Guard. I mean, like day one, when I landed in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, the Klan came and shot up the Veterans for Peace camp looking for me. And the next morning we went down to Algiers, which is like a sublet of New Orleans. You had 30, 40, white, vigilantes riding around, murdered like 19 black men. Not for breaking and enter or anything like this, because they saw an opportunity to push their racist agenda. Nobody was watching them. There was no checks and balances. There was lawlessness going on. And the other comparison that I see, I think Occupy Sandy and other relief efforts have has a great deal of responsibility on them. One, they're going to have to do something political to stop these evictions, and they have to move fast to do that. Two, it's a little more difficult because it was New Orleans was in the surrounding area was destroyed where there was nothing going on. So it gave us an opportunity to build something. Here, the infrastructure wasn't, torn apart as bad. In New Orleans, at least there was an exodus at some point, where they got people out. Here, people are living in their homes, so it's a little more difficult, on an emotional level, because thousands of people are still living, like I said before, in these cold, moldy homes with their children. Without running water, some without heat and electricity. And then you're talking about the sick and the shut-in. I think the difficulty level as far as that concern is crazy, and it's gonna take a lot of work, a lot of focus. What I would like to see, what I would like to see, like I said, is just have more people come down. And also too, research was going on down here because a lot of what's happening here on the ground is not being reported in the news. They're trying to shut it out, so they can get away with their little creepy agenda of gentrification. Get up, get involved. There's no time to be scared, because this whole situation could be coming to a theater near you. It could be you that need this help, So this is Suncere, your brother Suncere. Come on down, lend a hand. We need you. Peace.